despite appearances, I think you'll find the city's on the rise.
The city's on the rise?
The people are behind you. Well, not all the people, of course.
Daenerys, when she comes back to that situation, she has no idea what to expect. She doesn't know what's happened in Meereen. In a way, you feel for Tyrion because she left him with a terrible situation. The city was under siege from within and without, and he really did, for so long, such an excellent job of making things better there, and unfortunately, what she comes back to find is exactly what she would have expected to find when she left. And the fact that she has a city at all still is due to him.
Good. Shall we begin?
Do we have a plan?
I think Dany's been becoming a Targaryen ever since the end of season 1.
She's not her father, and she's not insane, and she's not a sadist, but there's a Targaryen ruthlessness that comes with even the good Targaryens.
Your reign is over.
My reign has just begun.
If you were one of the lords of Westeros, or one of her potential opponents in the wars to come, and you get word of what happened here in Meereen, you have to be pretty nervous because this is an unprecedented threat. You've got a woman who's somehow formed an alliance where she's got a Dothraki horde, a legion of Unsullied, she's got the mercenary army of the Second Sons, and she's got 3 dragons who are now pretty close to full grown. So if she can make it all the way across the Narrow Sea and get to Westeros, who's going to stand in her way?
I've defended the wall from worse than Ramsay Bolt.
You don't know him.
All right, tell me. What should we do? How do we get Rickon back?
I think Sansa's frustrated here because she knows Ramsay better than any of them do. There's no way Ramsay's gonna let him survive because Rickon is a threat to Ramsay's legitimacy as Warden of the North. He's a true-born Stark. There's no possible outcome where this ends well for Rickon.
From the beginning, we knew that one thing we'd never had on the show was a true medieval pitched battle, where 2 sides bring all the forces they can into play and some battlefield that's somehow negotiated or agreed upon, and they go at each other until one of them wins and the other one loses. This is a staple of human history, and we started to look through film examples of it. There really wasn't one that both made you feel what it was like to be there on the ground and gave you a sense of the geography of the battle.
Just to feel the kind of randomness of it where there's arrows falling from everywhere, people are getting killed, people are getting trampled by horses, and so much of it's just luck. Jon Snow is a very skilled combatant, but part of the reason he survives this battle is just he gets lucky.
We went back to the Roman fight against the Carthaginians in the Battle of Cannae, where the Romans got caught in an encirclement by Hannibal and just slaughtered to the man. We used that as sort of our model.
The Battle of the Bastards becomes incredibly compact, and all these men, all these combatants crammed into this incredibly tight space on the battlefield. You read accounts of battles in the Civil War where the bodies were piled so thick it actually became an obstruction on the battlefield. Even for someone we love as much as Jon, just something so dehumanizing about it. And even his look, he's so covered in blood and soot. There's like a wildness to him, especially after what he's seen. There's just no part of Jon that's not going to pursue.
Open the gate!
The initial version of the battle all took place on the battlefield, but it was the battle for Winterfell. As we talked it through, it started to occur to us that the episode is really about bringing things home for Jon, have him fight for his home in his home.
He's a deeply good human being, but he pushed anyone beyond their limits and they snap.
There's nothing he wants more than to beat Ramsay to death with his own fists. And then he sees his sister, who suffered at the hands of this man, and he realizes that this person is not his to finish.
Sansa. Hello, Sansa.
The show doesn't always give people the things that are gonna make them happy, but this felt like a moment where it made narrative sense that they would win this fight and that Ramsay would come into their possession as a prisoner.
Is this where I'll be staying now?
I don't think Ramsay realizes it's over until he wakes up in the chair. I think he's crafty enough and he's always managed to get away with everything. I think he's still hopeful that there might be some way he can connive his way out of this one too until the very, very end.
My hounds will never harm me.
You haven't fed them in 7 days, you said it yourself.
His dogs were such a thing for him in this season and in seasons past, and such an extension of his own horrible urges, and the idea that they would be turned against him and that it would happen at Sansa's hands made a lot of sense to us.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
This isn't the little girl who wanted to dress up like a princess anymore. Her walk away at the end of the scene, and that's one of my favorite shots we've ever had. It's just the little ghost of a smile on her face. She's in Winterfell, but she's not the person she was when she first left.